said, one of the things on that list was OpenTable notes. When it has the birthday icon, the date night icon, the anniversary, the allergy, all of these things. And I'm going to incorporate a couple little micro topics in here, but the importance of OpenTable.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Welcome back to Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant
Punk, 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 punk. Punk ass bitch.
Oh, Jesus. That was within the first 15 seconds.
Wow.
Yanni's editing that video. All right, welcome back. Happy to see everybody glistening from the undying heat wave that we are having.
Is it chill anywhere in the United States right now? Like,
No.
No? Like northern Maine?
Isn't there a place that's 135 degrees right now?
Austin hit like 120 heat index the other day.
Nuts.
A woman baked a loaf of bread in her mailbox.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Impressive.
What's the southernmost point in the United States? Is it in Florida or Texas? Fact check.
Fact check.
By the time we find out,
Yeah,
forget
we'll
about
get back to that.
Yeah.
In relevance to heat, I had to lay a little heat down on my staff this week. Yeah. I had a staff meeting with all of my servers who genuinely, all of them are great. I'm very happy and lucky to have the staff that I have. But in time, especially with new hires and people training people differently, things slip through the cracks.
Of course. Yep.
And I've been like monitoring, noticing, writing things down over time, noticing our Yianni board. We'll probably explain that in another episode. But just trying to figure out, like, although it's hard for me to translate to all of these girls, the nitty gritty little things like, hey, make sure we're doing this, X, Y, Z, and telling them individually, because then I feel like it loses its importance. Whereas I sat everybody down, I made them come in on their day off at an inconvenient time in the middle of the afternoon. And I sat everybody down and told them this is important. We need to make a point to talk about this.
Okay.
That being said, one of the things on that list was OpenTable notes. When it has the birthday icon, the date night icon, the anniversary, the allergy, all of these things. And I'm going to incorporate a couple little micro topics in here, but the importance of OpenTable. If people like, it's date night. Peter and I went out on a date night. We weren't like, alert the manager, we're going on a date night. You know what I mean? Like, no, we don't give a shit. We're just like, let's just go out and eat, you know?
People do that though, right? They put date night in
Yeah,
their
they put date
reservation.
night, they put anniversary.
And just for our audience to have just a little more knowledge, for those that don't know, how would we define what OpenTable is?
OpenTable is a reservation system. It's where you can go online, you can make reservations, as well as you can like leave reviews. So I feel like it's the newest and hottest place to review a restaurant, correct?
And it's very convenient as far as a reservation goes. For a restaurant, it's a game changer.
Absolutely.
And I believe they charge $1 per person.
reservation.
Per reservation or per person if they book on OpenTable. So in other words, if a guest from our audience books a table for 4 at Petunia on a Monday night, how much does the restaurant get charged? You, the owner, is it $4 or $1?
I thought it was $1 per reservation.
I think it's $1 per person. Fact check, $1 per reservation, correct? Nico, yes? Thank you. Nico confirmed. So, Noelle, you just learned something new.
Wow.
Oh my God.
$1 per person.
Well, that's also good to know because I limit people from making reservations of like, I think we limit it 6 is the max reservation that we can take.
Right,
on
but they do not charge you if they call in the reservation or if they book on carrorestaurantgroup.com. Fun fact. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to tell everybody what OpenTable is.
Absolutely. But it again, an online reservation system where people make very specific notes. And in one of our reviews that we got, and I think it was like a 3-4 star or something, someone was like, nobody acknowledged that it was my birthday, or like nobody acknowledged the birthday at the table. And they had made, and I went in and I looked and they had made a reservation and they had a little birthday icon. So like I told all of my servers, like they want to feel special. They're putting this note in there for a reason. Newsflash, we're not going to give you free shit if it's your birthday, your anniversary, you're this, like, we don't come out like it's Applebee's singing happy birthday.
Oh my God. That was me.
Me too.
But we don't do that at our establishment. But the bare minimum, acknowledge them.
Acknowledgement.
Use
Agreed.
it as a conversation piece. Use it as something to connect with the table. Walk up. Welcome to Petunia. I saw on the reservation we have a birthday this evening. Whose birthday is it? immediate connection. So just trying to like, as silly as it is, because sometimes like, again, I think it's kind of not dumb, but like, who cares?
Let me ask you,
You know?
out of all those people, how many of them knew that that was an option for the guest to fill out? Like, I didn't know. I had no idea until you just said it.
Oh, you can write whatever you want.
Oh yeah, they can leave whatever notes
Oh,
they
so
want.
it wasn't like a check off. Is it your birthday? It was just a comment.
No, they do. They do have
they do have
checkoffs.
the-
Yeah. So then there's a little
Right.
icon. So when you look at a reservation, it will just have the little open table symbol. That just means they booked it on OpenTable. Or it'll have a fork and a knife, and that means date night. A birthday cake means birthday. Anniversary is like little twinkly stars. Like,
Yeah, but you know that as an owner. Do
allergy.
you think they knew that?
I never learned that as an owner. I learned that as a server.
I never knew that. It's news to
if
me.
you click on the reservation, the icon comes up and it says birthday. So it's not like you have to learn the icons. It will, when you click on the person's reservation, it says it.
Oh, well, I never looked, honestly.
So what is your question, Noelle?
No, it's
Shoot.
more so just like bringing awareness as much as like, do you find it important? Like if someone goes out of their way to make that note, do you think it's important? Like, was it an important enough topic for me to bring up to my staff? Like, yo, pay attention to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1 billion%. Because if somebody puts date night, for instance, what is that? I don't want to
When
say
I
what does
hear-
that mean as a seasoned restaurateur, but are we supposed to acknowledge that you guys are out on a date? Have you been married for 40 years? Is this your second date ever? How do we acknowledge the date night as opposed to birthday? Birthday, I can understand, right? But what'd you say?
For date night, when I hear that, I think of parents who never go out and they
Right.
finally got a babysitter and they're able to go out and have a date night. That's like when I see date night, I'm like, they are worked up parents right now and they're just getting out and enjoying themselves.
I think our advice on Restaurant Punk, I'm going to speak for myself. I won't speak for both of your behalves, but I'm going to say from a man's point of view, let's say you are out on a date night. I don't think you should announce that on OpenTable. I think you should go to the restaurant and I think you maybe pull the server to the side, slip them a 10 or a 20 and say, listen, it's our night tonight. Do you mind if we just take our time and, you know, just give them that little nod? And usually as a server, you understand what that means, right?
I mean,
Like we're really a fucking icon on
I think
OpenTable.
that's crazy. I'm sorry. I think if it's an anniversary, it's a birthday, I get it. Just the fact that you're on a date night, like, why wouldn't I treat you well to begin with?
Right. Oh, well.
And what do you
Yes.
want me to acknowledge when you're here that you're on a date? And I wouldn't rush you anyway because I want you to, you know, enjoy your time.
yourself.
So I understand birthday, anniversary, date night. I don't understand. I think it's weird. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think it's
and
a lot
like-
of too much information.
I agree to an extent of like they went out of their way to write this note or leave this note or whatever. And I guess it didn't really even come to my mind because as the owner and if I'm serving, I do notice those things and I'll go up and be like, oh, we're having a birthday. Also, this is instilled in me because working at Vintage, Nico's mother, Christine, miss you. She would come up every day. Table 7, it's a birthday. It's the woman in the red. Make sure you say happy birthday. Table 4, it's their anniversary, 27 years. Like she gets the information as they walk in.
Right.
Because she's dealing with the open table. So she'll give me
Right.
all the dirty details. And then I go up to the table and I'm
Right.
like, you in the red, happy birthday. Congratulations on 37 years, you know. But for me, I look at that and I'll go up and address the table. But I didn't think it was that pivotal of a piece of little information that I needed to tell my servers until we got a review and like
Right.
not the best one saying they didn't even acknowledge it was my birthday. And I made a note on OpenTable
Yeah,
and I
but-
was like, damn.
How many restaurants use OpenTable? I know your restaurants use them. I never heard of it before. I came into Cara Restaurant Group. I had no idea. And honestly, I was like, I'm not using this shit. I had no idea what it was capable of. I'm like, I like pen and paper. It's just so much easier. The whole big love affair of putting all the information for me when there wasn't a host there and I had to do it myself and it was taking me away from my tables. I found it irritating, to be honest with you, because now I can't take care of the people at the tables because I'm filling out this whole big report on that reservation. But I understand the importance of it. But no one trained me and told me all the things that it's capable of the whole birthday thing and all these special notes. Like I never even knew all that until you just said it. The special notes I knew.
Yeah, at the end of the day, as a business owner, from an efficiency standpoint, as opposed to before OpenTable, let's say the restaurant's closed all day and nobody shows up until a front of the house person doesn't show up until, I don't know, 3:30, right?
Right.
You might have the porter there or the kitchen. They're not picking up the phone. So you
Right.
arrive to a restaurant that has 18 messages on it. Then you sit down and call those reservations back. and then kind of put everything together. So what OpenTable does is eliminates
that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
all of
great.
that.
I think it's great. I just didn't realize how extensive like it was.
Yeah. And even down to like the filling out of everything. Don't get me wrong. That was another thing. Cause I had a whole segment in my meeting about open tables. Like, get comfortable with it. Everybody should be answering the phone. Everybody should be filling out reservations on OpenTable. Everybody should be acknowledging and seating people on OpenTable. It shouldn't just be the lead server on that night. Everybody get comfortable. And even down to, we have an 8-top coming in sometime this week, and they had already had a profile. They had already visited our restaurant.
Okay.
So the server clicked on the name thinking that the credit card information was just going to transfer and didn't take the credit card information.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it didn't transfer. So now we have an 8-top reservation with no credit card on hold. If they no call, no show, that's more than half of our restaurant.
Right.
You know, so for us, it's a huge deal having something like OpenTable, to where if people cancel on the same day or no call, no show, we can still make at least a little penny off of the tables that we just lost because you reserved it for 3 weeks and said, you know what? We're not going to drive all the way to Courthouse tonight. We're just going to barbecue at home. We're just going to go to George's on the beachfront.
This has happened many times.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, especially when you're holding that table for like another reservation that might want to come in. Well, let me ask you a question. If I put in a reservation on OpenTable, right? And I say party at 2, Yianni Karapaniotis, right? With a guest, and I put date night. I think we should try this on Restaurant Punk. Is this possible? Just let me know. We shoot this, and I show up to the restaurant with a blow-up doll. And I sit down with the blow-up doll, and it's date night, and then we just watch the server's reaction and even people sitting around. What do you think? Can we try it?
We can try it.
You want to try it?
I'm
Not
down.
up
Noelle's-
to you, but we
I'm
can try
down.
it.
I'm down.
Noelle's like, no, yeah, you don't
I
want to
see
do
we
that.
do it at Brine.
Just to
really
make-
keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I think some of the requests on OpenTable, I don't know, like I think just to piggyback off what you said, I like, what do you want? Like, what do you want?
Yeah, because it's not like you're
What-
going to get a free dessert. You're coming to a fine dining place. They don't give out free desserts.
Yeah, I
you know what I
mean,
mean? Or fine-ish dining, you know? But
Some of our audience might say, well, listen, we're spending $50 per person, $60, $75 per person, and it's my birthday. You guys can't just give us, you know, dessert. These people exist. Let's be honest with
Yes,
each other.
they do.
Of course they do,
Absolutely.
guys.
But you go to places like Applebee's that are like, oh, it's your birthday. Let me check your ID. I'm not going to check everybody's ID.
No,
You know what I
we
mean?
would never
but then
do
you're
that,
going to
no.
have people like, we are in a demographic in Courthouse, right? To where it's very like locals. And they're very hardcore and set in their ways. We can all agree on that. So like if something new pops up, they're like shell shock, like, oh no, our town is changing, you know? So I feel like
Bizarre.
even with giving, like, there's a lot of people that are entitled because this is their town and they want things done a certain way, and they're going to come in and be like, it's my birthday every day. I want a free dessert.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was younger, I went to Olive Garden and they used to give away free cakes for your birthday. There was one family coming every week and it was always someone's birthday. And they had to
free
stop
cake.
giving away the free
Right.
cake. I mean, they were small cakes, but you know.
My friend and I used to pretend like we were getting engaged everywhere we went. We took a little fake ring and we would always pretend we got engaged and we got free dinner.
Oh my God.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
You just said that out loud.
Yeah.
So our advice on Restaurant Punk when it comes to OpenTable and making reservations is, are we condoning to say it's birthday, date night, anniversary? And as restaurateurs, are we acknowledging? I say we acknowledge birthdays.
An anniversary.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not. Is it awkward for somebody to just come in and say, hey, happy anniversary? Well, how do they know? Well, it's in the computer.
Well, they put it there.
All right.
It's not like someone
Yeah,
gave me your personal information.
that's the thing, is a lot of these are what they put in there. So for an anniversary, especially if people are putting anniversary, it's not like 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's an older couple that's like,
Yes.
we just made it 35 years together and we're both still sitting here alive.
Right.
So like, congratulate us, you know?
And would we agree that different servers are different and they don't know how to approach? You might have a 19-year-old that it's their second week on the job. They don't know how to communicate or connect really
or
to
really
that way.
read or really read things. Like sometimes you could tell when they're on date night and they just got their babysitter. You could just tell.
Oh, no.
You could tell.
Not only
Yeah.
can you tell, but that's the first thing that they announce. How are we doing tonight? Amazing. My mom's watching the kids. We have the night off. We're gonna go get a drink after this. Like they like come straight out with it. You know what I mean? Like they exude the fact that they have the night off from being a parent.
So I think our advice on Restaurant Punk would be save it for the restaurant. Don't put it on the computer. Just, show up and pull your server aside. Or maybe if you want to do something special, pull your server aside, excuse yourself from the table, walk up to the server. Let's say you want to pay the check. There are ways to do it. So maybe say, hey, it's our anniversary. Can I slip is that, you guys agree with that? Or just, I don't know.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so that's our advice.
If it's that important to you, you can tell your server when you get there.
Yes, do it in person. My advice, do it in person.
Yes.
Done? What do you think? Yes?
Done. Yes.
We all agree?
Yes.
That's
Agreed.
a first. Restaurant Punk! I'm Yianni!
Noelle.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You never practice sound effects at home?
All the time.
Right? You
Yeah.
have to, just in case you might need that skill in life.
You never know.
No.
We all my whole house speaks in tongues pretty much. Like we just make really weird noises at each other.
what you got? What do you want?